Welcome to this class. This is Darlington Gospel again, and today I want to teach you about functions in Solidity. Okay, want to do quite a lot. For example, want to know about how functions are declared in Solidity. The rules that governs creating functions. What are functions, arguments? What are modifiers in functions? And all of those kinds of things that you need to know about function. So let's jump into the class then. Okay. To create a function or to declare a function, you start with a keyword called function. By the way, functions are very important. They are little piece of codes that you can reuse in the course of the program to perform certain activities, small procedures and all of that. So if you're going to be writing a lot of logic in your programming code, you will need function. In fact, in Solidity, being that it's an object-oriented programming language, you're going to have to master the use of function. And this is how you do it. You start with the keyword what? Function, and then what? Function, and then the name of the function. Let's say function name. This is just like the the procedure, like the standard way of you writing a function. This is the arguments, like all the arguments that you're going to bring in, and then the modifiers, modifiers, okay, that you can specify, and then within here you can now write in all your codes inside of this place. So this is how a Solidity smart contract functions. This is how you declare them. This is just the standard, but this is not how I'm going to write it, of course. So why don't we try an example, and let me show you how you can actually write a function. Before we proceed, a function can either just process a bunch of information and computation and just updates it in the state variable, or performs on that. For example, a function could be responsible for disbursing money, paying people money. A function, on the other hand, could perform some computational activities and return a result. So we have functions that return results and functions that just perform some activities within the smart contract. So you must be aware of that. Function could be a function that has a parameter, or a function that doesn't have a parameter. Functions that have parameters, they have to receive input from the external environment, whereas functions that don't have parameters don't really require information from the environment. They just perform the stuffs, the instructions that are written within their body. So I hope that makes some sense to you. So for example, let's create a function called get answer. All right, in this get answer, it's not going to have any form of parameter or argument, and we want it to be public. Public is called this public. We have public. We have these are modifiers. The access specifier, basically access specifier. We also have access modifier or modifiers themselves. Access specifier talks about your accessibility to this function. Is it public? If it is public, that means it can be seen and accessed by everyone. If it is private, that means it's only local, and it can not be used by people outside. So that is what you want to know about this. Okay, and it's a view. View is also another modifier that it enables you to see results in a data-driven fashion than not if for you to really see a data, the result the way it's supposed to be, you must actually include this keyword called view. So it returns a data. it displays it for you, renders it for you, like the way you receive JSON or an array, that that is how um, a, a modifier with view is. It just makes it viewable. That is just a short form for it. And then you say returns. Remember, it's not return, but returns. Okay, because return is used within a function. Then returns is used, within the modifier, level of a smart contract. So returns is talking about the kind of data type that this function will return after it is done processing. You understand that? So we want this function to return us an unsigned integer, okay, at the end of its execution. So this is just an example, like me getting an answer. So we have you unsigned integer, okay, called a, and it's just 1. A is equal to 1, and then we have another one. Let me just duplicate this. We say b is equal to what? 2. All right, and then this is gonna become like ans, which is equal to what? A plus what? B. All right, and then you say what? Return. Not returns this time, just with a single. It's not plural, just singular this time, and then say return ans, and you know that ans is what? An unsigned integer. This is how you do it. Let's compile this, and we got having a warning saying that get answer returns view function state mutability can be restricted to pure. So we can also say this should become pure instead of view, and then we compile that. Pure functions basically don't interact with the environment. They could receive an argument, use that in the processing of this information, and then at the end of the day, just returns the result for us. So we can use view, okay, and it will still compile, but with a warning though. You can also use a pure function. So at this time, this thing is compiled, and when I click deploy, and it deploys to the network, which you can see by the side here, and check on this demo here, and you can see that I have this function here, and I click on what? Get answer, and you see that 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, and it just returns the answer for me. So that is how you do a function.